history is full of firsts.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Many of those firsts shaped our way of life. For 70 years, KPRC Channel 2 has been proud to be pioneers in shaping television and Houston history.
In a state the size of Texas, everyone can enjoy
In the storms Thursday. Minutes before 9 o'clock, the crew's here telling them.
This is the first time in a long they haven't let it. Send us some of your pick.
Isn't it good to work for a place that has a sense of history? And indeed it is.
See, taking the president from Spring to College Station, following.
If you have something you'd like Channel 2 Investigates to check out, call the tip line at 713-223-TIPS or email investigates@click2houston.com. Live from KPRC, this is Channel 2 News Midday.
A wild ride ends in a major crash. 5 people in the hospital right now, including teens and a 9-year-old. How the young suspect managed to steal a car in the first place.
It is Super Tuesday, a big day for the Democratic candidates who are vying to win the party's presidential nomination. What's at stake and how things are faring for local voters who are heading to the polls.
And devastating and deadly. We're talking about a tornado that barreled its way through parts of Nashville overnight. You can see right here the damage that storm left behind.
But first, a police chase ends violently in southeast Houston with 5 people sent to the hospital. Police say it all began when 3 people stole a car earlier this morning, 2 teens and a 9-year-old. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Andy Sirota.
Good morning. I'm Tanaya Wright. This all unfolding overnight right along Scott and Tristan Streets. This is a story that we have been following for you all morning long. Channel 2 Sophia Ojeda joins us now live with more on what she's learning now this midday. Sophia.
Good morning. We spoke to the brother of one of the victims. He says that his brother is in real bad shape. He is fighting for his life in critical condition this morning. He's got bleeding on the brain, several broken bones, and he says he just doesn't understand why a group of kids, why they were out, stole the car around 1 o'clock this morning. He says it's just senseless.
As far as I know, he got bleeding on the brain, and he's got a fractured neck, a broken left leg.
Brian Collins says his brother Kenneth is in real bad shape. He says Kenneth and childhood friend Sharon Davis were turning onto Scott Street around 1 o'clock in the morning when 3 kids in a stolen white car crashed into them at 100 miles per hour. Investigators say the 17-year-old had just stolen the car with a 16-year-old and child under 12 in the back seat. The owner of the stolen vehicle says the kids asked him for a ride home right before they stole his car.
I realized that they're children, so I should probably get them out of the neighborhood. I mean, it just seemed like it's not that great of a neighborhood. It just seemed like I should probably help them get them home. That's when investigators say police tried to pull them over and they took off, slamming into Collins and Davis in the silver car at Scott and Tristan Streets. The force so powerful the crash sent the engine 200 feet away.
It hurts. It hurts from, from the kids' point of view, and then from my brother and Sharon too, you know what I'm saying? It hurts everybody, family, involved. But my thing is, 1 o'clock in the morning, why are the kids outside? That's $1 million question that I would love to know.
And we also spoke with the family of Sharon Davis. They did not want to go on camera. They tell us that she is in critical condition this morning at Bentop Hospital with severe brain injuries, also several broken bones. As for the teens and that child that was in the backseat of that stolen car, they were sent to the hospital, expected to be okay. The 17-year-old driver, Nathan Christian, facing a slew of charges, including evading police and endangering the welfare of a child. He faces up to 100 years behind bars. Reporting live in Southeast Houston, Sophia Ojeda, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Unbelievable, Sophia. Thanks so much. 14 states in total are voting in the presidential primary today. There will be more than 1,300 Democratic delegates up for grabs, which is about a third of the total delegates. With Senator Amy Klobuchar and Mayor Pete Buttigieg dropping out, the race is now between former Vice President Joe Biden, Senator Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Mayor Mike Bloomberg, and Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard. NBC's Susan McGinnis has the latest on the race.
Democratic voters head to the polls in 14 states today, the most pivotal day on the primary calendar. In Arlington, Virginia, voters lined up early to cast their ballots at Key Elementary School.
There's still other people on the ballot I can vote for who are moderate, I think, like me.
I think there's a chance to elect somebody who probably has the best chance against Donald Trump.
Former Vice President Joe Biden heading into Super Tuesday newly energized. Biden riding high after winning South Carolina's primary and gaining key endorsements from outgoing rivals Pete Buttigieg and Amy Klobuchar.
This is going to be a good night, and I think you'll see some victories for Joe Biden.
An indication the moderate wing of the party is consolidating around Biden, who also has gained one more key endorsement in Texas, former candidate Beto O'Rourke.
Most Americans don't want the promise of a revolution. They want results.
Frontrunner Bernie Sanders, who holds the most delegates so far, looking to fend off the onslaught and extend his gains today in key states like California and Texas.
It's obviously a very, very important day. And we look forward to doing well.
Elizabeth Warren casting her vote today in Massachusetts, hoping to squeak out enough delegates to stay in the race. The big wild card today, former New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg, who is on the ballot for the first time in this race. Bloomberg spending upwards of $500 million in ads and placing all his bets on Super Tuesday. After today's voting, about 40% of delegates will be awarded. In Arlington, Virginia, Susan McGinnis, NBC News.
Team coverage of Super Tuesday with our own Vincent Crivelli with our local voters who are heading to the polls today. Vincent.
Tonight, good morning. Voters have been streaming in here since 7 o'clock this morning, casting their ballots on this Super Tuesday. As polls opened across our area, thousands of citizens came out to perform their civic duty. Why'd you come out to vote today?
I came out to vote today because it's the only way to save our democracy. We're all citizens. We all get a say. Your vote counts.
It's important that everybody votes, that everybody has a voice in this election. This is trying times right now. Like, everything is on the line.
Texas has 228 delegates on the line, second to only California on Super Tuesday.
I believe that a lot of things need to be changed, and without our voice, things won't change.
In Texas, Bernie Sanders is leading the polls, followed by former Vice President Joe Biden, Mike Bloomberg, and Elizabeth Warren, respectively. Why is voting important?
Voting is extremely important because the issues that you want, you pick the candidates that are best going to have the issues and push the issues and reform that you want.
Experienced election judge Judy Moran says voters are coming out in full force.
I've never seen this. I was a little like,
Keeping a focus on the Lone Star states and the Texas Republican primary, all eyes are on who will replace outgoing Congressman Pete Olson in District 22. Fort Bend County Sheriff Troy Nails, Pierce Bush, and Kathleen Wall are among some of the candidates trying to win the seat.
The Constitution gives us the right to determine our government, and if we don't use the vote, then we don't determine the government, and the corporations and the powerful get to decide for us, and our voices need to be heard.
And you still have plenty of time to come out and vote. The polls close at 7 o'clock tonight, and your job has to give you paid time off to come vote unless the polls close 2 hours after your shift ends. Reporting live in Houston, Vincent Crivelli, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Thank you, Vincent. And there is plenty of time to get out and vote today. Look at this. You have about 8 hours left, just under 8 hours left. The polls close tonight at 7. But if you do have any questions before you head out to the polls, you can call our Super Tuesday phone bank. Once again, we're teaming up with Telemundo Houston and the League of Women Voters. Volunteers out there, as you see, manning those phone lines. They're going to be answering calls in both English and Spanish. We have both numbers to call right there on your screen. And right now on our website, click2houston.com, we have a Super Tuesday cheat sheet. There you can find out where you can go, what's on the ballot, and how to get your free Metro bus ride to your polling place. You can find all of this under our political section on our website.
Strong storms and at least one tornado tore through Nashville in the middle of the night, killing at least 19 people and leaving a number of homes and other buildings in ruins. The National Weather Service says the twister carved a path 10 miles long while it was on the ground. Nearly 50,000 people are also reportedly without power. Several families recall those terrifying moments as the tornado hit.
So running down the hallway, the ceiling is just caving in, just debris everywhere, and water is just pouring from the ceiling and like waterfalls into the hallways.
And we just grabbed the baby and tried to pack everything up as fast as we could.
Emergency crews are still searching through debris for more possible victims. It all happened hours before voters are supposed to hit the polls for Super Tuesday in that state. Officials with the Nashville Election Commission were busy overnight checking to see if any polling sites were damaged.
That is so very scary for those people.
Yeah, certainly our hearts and prayers go out to everyone who's been impacted by those storms.
Yep. All right, locally now, Britta, we had some fog this morning and you're still a little bit down there.
Yeah, it's a little murky, but it's better than where we were at this morning. At least we can see Pleasure Pier, but you can tell visibility is still low at the coast. It's going to be like that as we go into the afternoon, but again, we have seen some improvements. Right now, we're at 4 miles. Earlier this morning, we were down to a quarter of a mile. It is going to be a little hazy at the coast. Away from the coast, though, we've cleaned up the fog. Still looking at mainly cloudy skies, and just like yesterday, we're just expecting a few breaks of sunshine as we go into the afternoon. Temperatures, though, plenty warm. We're in the mid to upper 70s right now, and just like yesterday, we're going to top off between 80 and 82 degrees. Right now, we're at 77 here in Houston and the mid 70s right now at the coast. So expect that heat and humidity. We could see a few showers this afternoon, but Andy, storms are going to be a bigger issue as we go into tomorrow's forecast. A look at that coming up.
All right, Britta, thanks so much. Remember, you can track the forecast anytime you want. All you have to do is download Frank's free forecast weather app. Just search KPRC in your Apple or Android app store. New developments today in the R. Kelly case.
Coming up, why his lawyers are back in court today.
Police fear the worst in the case of a missing 11-year-old in Colorado, who the child was last seen with, and the arrest just made in the case. It is Super Tuesday, and KPRC2 wants to make sure that you are ready when you head to the polls. Right now, the League of Women Voters is answering your Election Day questions in both English and in Spanish. Joining me now to talk about some voting reminders is Nancy Krull with the League of Women Voters. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you very much for having us.
So first and foremost, for folks who are heading out to the polls today, what do they need to bring with them in order to vote?
Absolutely. The requirement is for a photo ID. A lot of times people will ask, do I need my voter registration card? No, you do not need that, but you absolutely need a photo ID. And an acceptable form of photo ID would be your driver's license. That's the most common one. A passport photo. I think you have a list. Yeah, a list of things on the screen. And you just need to make sure you have your photo ID.
How do I know if I'm registered to vote, and where do I vote?
Okay. To find out if you're registered to vote, if you're in Harris County, you can look at harrisvotes.com. And then there's a place for you to check, am I registered? And you can look it up and see if you're registered to vote. And it'll also let you pull up a sample ballot. It can show you your specific precinct number. It's interesting this time, the precinct number isn't nearly as important as it once was for a voting location, because Harris County now allows people to vote throughout the county. So you don't have to go to your specific precinct to vote today.
Some great information, and many thanks again to you and the volunteers
thank you
for the work that you're doing.
This was great.
All right. The phone bank will be here throughout the day. If you have any election questions that you need answered, you can call the number right there on your screen. The polls will be open until 7 o'clock this evening. Tanaya.
All right, thank you, Andy. Well, coronavirus cases are increasing in South Korea and Japan, causing large events to be canceled and even schools closed. Concern is also rising in Europe over the impact of the outbreak. In South Korea, yet another jump in cases today, 900 more, and this is all because of the huge number of people being tested. More than 125,000 people have been tested for the virus in that country. In Europe, though, the risk for coronavirus is spreading has now increased. Some predictions also say that that area could soon be in a recession. It's a big day here in Houston, the day rodeo fans have been waiting for. The Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo officially kicks off today. Tens of thousands of Houstonians are expected to visit the rodeo. This is going to be each and every day. Channel 2's Brittany Jeffers joins us now live from NRG. So, Brittany, many people are really looking forward to all the fun out there, but some say they do have concerns about the coronavirus.
Yeah, that's right. They're really trying to balance the fun out here. But of course, you know, staying healthy is really at the forefront of everybody's mind. And you mentioned it's the first day. You can see how busy it is out here. We've got tours of little kiddos. They're checking out the animals out here, and they expect that there are going to be thousands of folks out here this week. And so that's why Rodeo Houston organizers have put together different hand washing stations as well as hand sanitizer stations just like this. They're also recommending that people bring their own wipes or hand sanitizer as well, just to try to stay on top of things.
We don't want people that aren't feeling well, that may have something they could spread to someone. If they stay home, then that's going to limit the exposure to all the people that we have out here on the grounds.
So you can see right now, day one, just how busy. We're already seeing so many people show up out here. They're expecting thousands today. So, of course, the best rule of practice here is just to practice good hygiene. Reporting live, I'm Brittany Jeffers, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Always important. Thank you, Brittany. Well, Midland takes the revolving stage tonight at about 8 o'clock for the very first concert. We have a full schedule of today's rodeo happenings right now on our website, clicktohouston.com.
Yeah, you know, first day of the rodeo, it's either warm or it's either wet and cold or wet and warm.
That's the best thing about March in Southeast Texas. You never know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates, right? Yeah. So today it's warm and muggy, a few showers possible. The bigger issue is going to be rodeo weather for tomorrow. We're expecting a round of thunderstorms. The good news is they have inside venues, folks. So don't let it shy you away. You just have to be creative with your timeline. Let's take you outside and show you what we're dealing with closer to town. Still a little murky out there. We had a lot of fog this morning. We'll only see breaks of sunshine as we go into the afternoon, so expect a mostly cloudy day, but at least fog is not an issue right now downtown. We're at 77 degrees here in Houston. Wow, that is warm. Typically, we would top off at 70 degrees for the entire day, and we are still warming up despite the fact that we don't have a lot of sunshine. Galveston right now, you're at 74 degrees. That's a spot that had very thick fog this morning. Still looks really soupy out there, but our visibility directly at the coast at about 3/4 to 1.5 miles. That is a far cry from the 1/4 mile visibility that we had this morning. But do expect to have some gloomy conditions, especially at the coast, and sea fog is only going to build back in tonight for tomorrow morning. This afternoon we'll hit about 80 degrees. If you see more sunshine, low 80s not out of the question, and we have a 30% chance of a stray shower. As you heard Tanaya say, Midland is our headliner for tonight. If you're heading out to rodeo, showers are possible getting there. It shouldn't slow you down too much. It's only a 30% chance, and then we'll dry out of anything that pops up throughout the show itself. Expect mild temperatures in the 70s if you're heading out to that. Meanwhile, take a look at this huge spin of low pressure moving into North Mexico. That is our issue as we head into Wednesday. We are expecting that threat of severe weather. It's minimal at 5%, but it's out there. The majority of us are just going to deal with really inconvenient thunderstorms. Today, don't really expect too much thunder and lightning, but this is a look at this afternoon. Isolated showers possible, so as you pick up the kids, maybe just grab your umbrella just so you're prepared. We'll keep in that chance through the time that polls close. Then later tonight, those chances are going up. Most of the thunderstorms early tomorrow morning are going to be well to our north, but that is a front that's moving in our direction. So if it moves farther down to the south, that's going to adjust what we're expecting. But right now in the morning, we're just expecting a few scattered showers. The front moves in here, kind of stalls out, and then that upper level low swings in, and that creates those scattered thunderstorms in the afternoon. Again, it's about a 5% chance that we could see strong weather out of these thunderstorms. We'll look out for downpours downpours, also thunder and lightning, and then there's that 5% chance that our thunderstorms that are moving through the second half of tomorrow could produce some hail and gusty winds. In terms of how much rain we're anticipating, about 1 to 2 inches of rain. If that happens in a short window, we can always see some drainage issues, maybe some localized street flooding, but we do not have a widespread flooding concern with this. In fact, we kind of need the rainfall. Behind this system, we clear out nicely. Thursday and Friday looking beautiful. Nothing but sunshine. We'll have cooler temperatures, and what a beautiful stretch of weather as we head into the first full weekend of rodeo and the first full weekend of spring break for many kids out there. Just do not forget to spring forward. That's happening 2 a.m. on Sunday. So when you go to bed Saturday night, move that clock 1 hour forward so you don't show up to church at the wrong time.
Happening whether we like it or not, right?
Exactly.
All right, Britta, thanks so much. As we head to break, do you have questions about Super Tuesday? Well, we have the answers. You can call our Election Day phone bank. The number's right there on your screen. There are representatives who can answer your questions in both English and Spanish. We'll be right back.
Call us today.
Authorities in Colorado believe a missing 11-year-old boy is likely dead. Gannon Stouch was last seen on January 27th getting into his stepmother's truck outside of their El Paso County home. This morning, that woman who you see here, Letitia Stouch, is in jail on first-degree murder charges. Police have not said what led them to the arrests, but since Gannon's disappearance, crews have been searching specific areas for any signs of that boy.
New developments in the case against disgraced R&B singer R. Kelly. Today, his lawyers will be back before a judge. They want some of the charges dismissed against their client. The specific counts are connected to a New York law on sexually transmitted diseases. The singer's lawyers argue in part the law is an invasion of the right to privacy and therefore unconstitutional.
The building that was dubbed the Leaning Tower of Dallas is now just a pile of rubble. It all came tumbling down yesterday afternoon. You can see it. Crews attempted to implode that building last month, and they failed. Since then, it has become just a viral internet sensation. For more than a week, a 5,600-pound wrecking ball has been chipping away at that tower.
Wayland Furniture is recalling more than 800 of its 9-piece dining sets. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says the chairs can break, posing a fall hazard. The recall involves the Bayside Furnishings Lawler dining sets. They were sold exclusively at Costco stores last year. Consumers should stop using the chairs immediately and contact Wayland for a full refund.
Still ahead at midday, Channel 2 News investigates.
That's right. Health reporter Haley Hernandez has a look at the drinking water in the Houston area. Is it dangerous? We put it to the test.
And before you head out to the polls today, make sure you call our Election Day phone bank. The number's right there on your screen. There are representatives who can answer your questions in both English and Spanish. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Live from KPRC, this is Channel 2 News Midday.
Andy and Tanaya back with you with a look at some of the morning's big stories. The death toll continues to climb in Tennessee after several tornadoes touched down overnight while people were sleeping. At least 19 people were killed.
Officials say dozens of homes and buildings were destroyed. There are power lines down too, leaving some 50,000 people in the dark. Chris Miller reports now from Nashville.
Absolute damage and devastation here north of Nashville this morning. This is the Germantown area. It's a popular growing area, and this morning it is completely crushed. This is a brick building, completely damaged this morning. Anything that's not made of brick is in rubble. We've got wood and sheet metal strewn all across the roads this morning. In the distance here, you see the downtown skyline of Nashville, and you can see that this Germantown neighborhood is less than a mile north of downtown Nashville. You could walk anywhere in this neighborhood this morning. You'd see damage everywhere. People are out walking around just surveying the damage and trying to get a good idea of what happened here last night.
I encourage all of you to pray for the families across our state that are facing tragedy right now and that are dealing with heartache and hardship in ways that that only they know.
We have crews running through the streets this morning with snow plows to clean up all the debris so they can reopen the roads as soon as possible. There's down power lines. The power is out in this area right now and will be for the foreseeable future. The gas station directly across the street where people were filling up their tanks last night is now closed down. There's gas pumps lying all over in sheet metal. And this is the scene here in Nashville. I'm Chris Miller.
Wow, it is so devastating just seeing that.
Yeah, they were saying that one of the tornadoes carved a path when it touched down that was 10 miles long. And tornadoes, they're called nocturnal tornadoes when they strike in the middle of the night. Very common in that part of Tennessee. Isn't that right, Justin?
Yeah, well, you don't want to see them anytime in the middle of the night because you can't see them coming. That's the worst part. You know, people don't know when they're there. This whole system continues to slide its way across the southeast. In fact, they had a couple of tornado warnings break out in central Alabama earlier today. It's losing some of its steam, but what we're going to be focusing on is this. We've got an area of low pressure off to the west swirling around. You can see some of the light rain it's bringing into West Texas now, but this is a bowling ball, ladies and gentlemen. A very vigorous area of low pressure that's moving through the Baja. You can see all this moisture that it's shooting out ahead of that. So this is going to continue to move on into the area as it does. That's why we're expecting to see the storms start to fire up tomorrow. Today it's fairly quiet out there. A lot of cloud cover, sure, and it's fairly murky, kind of what it feels like. The temperatures are all sitting anywhere in the mid to upper 70s. And notice that our futurecast, as we roll it through the rest of this afternoon, we could see a couple of showers bubble up. I don't think it'll be much more than maybe 20-30% max. As we get in towards this evening, that'll be gone. But I do expect to see more fog. There comes the first of what will likely be a bit of a stormy Wednesday for some. Certainly it will be some changes coming in for others as we get into Thursday, Friday. Andy will get into all of those details in the 10-day here in just a bit.
All right, a lot to talk about, Justin. Thanks so much. Remember, you can track your forecast anytime you want. All you have to do is download Frank's free forecast weather app. Just search KPRC in your Apple or Android app store. A big day for 14 states, including Texas, for Decision 2020. Voters are heading to the polls to cast their ballots for the Democratic nomination for president. Also today, several local leaders are hoping to keep their seats. That includes Harris County District Attorney Kim Ogg. We caught up with her this morning outside a polling station. She says she is hoping for a victory tonight.
I hope to prevail tonight without a runoff, but I don't take anything for granted, so we're here working the polls.
Still plenty of time to get out and vote. The polls close at 7 o'clock tonight. Texas, as we said, is one of the states participating in Super Tuesday, and it looks like voters are heading out in full force. As of 9 o'clock this morning, nearly 32,000 people had already cast their ballots in Harris County alone. We have heard of just a few small issues, but so far, nothing major.
Next, all these young made up.
And of course, we continue our Super Tuesday coverage right out here in our KPRC lobby with our Election Day phone bank. As we have been telling you all morning long, we are joined by Telemundo and volunteers from the League of Women Voters. You can see the numbers right there on your screen to call. Representatives can answer any questions that you have in both English or Spanish. Now, Nancy Kroll is here, one of the volunteers helping us out today. So what are some of the most asked questions you guys have been getting?
Probably the most asked question is, where do I vote? And that's a real easy question for us, for those of us that live in Harris County, because the rules have changed and now you can vote anywhere in Harris County. So that's the first question. Another question is, am I registered? I think I'm registered. Was I supposed to re-register? What do I do? You can check your registration at harrisvotes.com if you're in Harris County, or with the Texas Secretary of State's office if you're outside of Harris County. Another question that we get is, how late are the polls open, and what if I don't vote today? Well, if you don't vote today, then you're out of luck, because this is the last day. So you need to get out there and vote today, and the polls are open till 7 p.m.
Yes, again, so make sure you do head out there and vote today, because it is the last day, the only day you can vote now for this. Again, as she just mentioned, the polls will be open until 7, and we will have the phone bank going to answer any of your questions until 7 o'clock tonight. Andy, back to you.
All right, Tanaya and Nancy, thanks so much. We have new details in a Channel 2 investigation into a toxic cancer-causing chemical in Houston's tap water. We have brand new test results. As health reporter Haley Hernandez shows us, we could finally see some changes after years of our relentless reporting.
A little slice of heaven, a backyard oasis, paradise tucked away in the heart of
what some now consider ground zero for a toxic, cancer-causing chemical in Houston's drinking water. Barbara is a retiree in Alief, chair of her super neighborhood, and for years hosting town halls demanding action.
We want each of those wells tested to actually find the source, because it's only in one particular zip code.
KPRC Channel 2 Investigates has been reporting on chromium-6 in the city's tap water since 2016. The highest levels found in zip code 77099. After our reports aired, the city's public work department agreed to continue testing Alief's drinking water. Over the years, the levels have fluctuated. Now KPRC Channel 2 Investigates got its hands on the latest numbers. Some areas almost undetectable, but others higher than ever.
It's in way more of our water supplies than I think any of us have imagined.
Erin Brockovich, environmental crusader, is famous for a real-life movie about her fight against chromium-6. Here's the catch about it. Even though scientists say it can cause cancer, technically, legally, Houston's water is declared safe to drink. The reason, there is no federal standard just for chromium-6 in drinking water.
Because it's a way for us not to find out. We're obviously, our new revolution is technology and Google, and we can find information like we've never found before, and we're starting to realize that this chromium-6 is a bad actor, clearly.
Tiffany Thomas is Alief's new council member.
Within the first 30 to 40 days, I had a meeting with Public Works to address this issue specifically.
She says even though it's not required, Public Works will continue to test tap water for chromium-6.
The larger question and opportunity for us as a district is how do we engage with our federal representatives to look at changing some of these guidelines.
Last year, Congressman Al Green and other members of Congress wrote a letter to the EPA urging them to set a new federal standard.
The EPA has been, in my opinion, dragging its feet. We've got to get the EPA to understand that this is critical, crucial, and important.
And KPRC Channel 2 Investigates reached out to the EPA multiple times about setting a federal standard. Each time, the year for a decision gets pushed back. So we asked Councilmember Thomas, instead of seeking help from the federal level, can the city come up with its own standard?
I think inquiry is important because it allows us to think differently about what was done. And so we have an opportunity again to introduce something. I'm totally willing to take lead on that.
So how safe is the water in your town? Right now on click2houston.com, we have an interactive map where you can search by zip code. You'll find it on the homepage. I'm health reporter Haley Hernandez, KPRC Channel 2 News.
Hundreds of thousands of people are in Houston for several events going on right now in the city, including the first day of the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo.
Not to mention, a lot of kids are going to be out of school for their spring break, and that's why city leaders want to make sure that everyone is safe. Today, Mayor Sylvester Turner talked about Spring Break Houston. The two-week effort kicks off March 7th and runs until the 22nd. Mayor Turner is urging people to plan ahead for crowded streets and highways.
Mobility is an issue. I encourage Houstonians to plan ahead and find the best route to your spring break destination.
The city of Houston has partnered with the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, Houston Museum District, Herman Park, and several others to make sure that everyone enjoys a very fun and safe spring break. Well, Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson team up for another movie that did pretty well at the box office this past summer.
That's right. It's one of the movies available for home viewing this week. A look at that and some of the others.
We do want to remind you that our Super Tuesday election phone bank is going on right now. Volunteers from the League of Women Voters are on the phone lines right now answering any questions that you might have about voting. Now, there are phone numbers right there on your screen. You can get your questions answered in both English or Spanish.
A sad start to our entertainment news block. Hollywood is remembering James Lipton, creator and host of Inside the Actors Studio. He died yesterday at his home at the age of 93. His show, Inside the Actors Studio, had been one of cable's longest-running series. According to The Hollywood Reporter, nearly 300 actors, many Oscar and Emmy winners, shared their secrets with Lipton.
Former child star Marie Osmond says she's not going to be leaving any of her millions to her 7 children. The 60-year-old performer made that announcement on the TV show The Talk. She explained that leaving her kids a fortune would just be a great disservice to them. She said she wants them to make their own money. Her will directs that her millions will go to charity instead.
Netflix says it will turn Los Angeles into the funniest place on earth, at least for a week. The video streaming service will host a week-long stand-up comedy festival there, featuring some of the biggest names in the comedy world. The Netflix is a Joke Fest will feature more than 100 shows at 20 different venues. The festival kicks off on April 27th and will last until May 3rd.
Golfing greats, you might want to pay attention to this. A Major League Baseball player is showing that, look at that, has a powerful swing. That's Angel slugger Mike Trout. Hits one to the moon at Topgolf in Scottsdale during a charity event. So you got to watch it again as he steps up. We'll show you again. As he steps up, here he goes, and ripped a rocket shot right off the tee. There it goes, that ball way out of here. If for some reason the 3-time MVP wants to break into a different sport, it appears he could have a future in long drive golf competitions.
Kevin Hart and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson have chemistry on the big screen, teaming up in 4 different films. Their latest collaboration is now available for home viewing this week. Raphael Seth has a look.
Are we in Florida?
Oh my God.
Dwayne Johnson has a little Danny DeVito in him in Jumanji: The Next Level. This latest version reunites the original game survivors in a new digital domain. They're searching for friend Spencer after he misses a meetup, but grandfather DeVito and his pal Danny Glover also get pulled into the virtual adventure, and they'll all have to survive unknown challenges to return to reality. Jumanji is digital this week.
I want you to say there's a bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
Paul Walter Hauser fights bombshell allegations in Richard Jewell. This one's based on the 1996 Atlanta Olympic Park bombing. Hauser plays the title character, a security guard who discovers the bomb right before it detonates. He's hailed as a hero for warning dozens of people before the explosion, until the media fuels reckless speculation that he planted the device himself. Richard Jewell is digital.
I support what y'all doing.
It was self-defense.
Power to the people.
It's ride or die for Daniel Kaluuya in Queen and Slim. The Get Out star gets pulled over during an awkward first date with Jodie Turner-Smith, but when he accidentally kills a cop in self-defense, the dashcam video goes viral, forcing the two on the run. And by sunrise, the act that brands them as dangerous fugitives in one community makes them vigilante heroes in another. Queen and Slim is available on digital, DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K. That's the Video View. Raphael Seth, NBC News.
Also out this week, Dark Waters, starring Mark Ruffalo.
Well, if you feel like some Subway or Jersey Mike's, then you should go ahead and go there, because it's National Cold Cuts Day. It's a day to celebrate all of the lunch, deli sandwich meats that you can, they're so good. I think I like turkey the best, though. You can also get in on the fun by sharing your sandwich on social media using the hashtag National Cold Cuts Day.
And bologna's included in that,
Bologna,
right? You cannot forget about the old staple,
No,
right?
my grandpa ate so much bologna when he was just in town. I haven't bought it in years.
I was just going to say, I remember bologna. My father is a big Spam guy.
I used to eat Spam when I was little.
I think it's a Southern thing, like, you know, not like Texas thing, but like Tennessee, which is where he's from, because they'd fry up a big old slab of Spam.
I hear it's good.
And fired up. I ate it as a
In
kid.
Hawaii, I think they love it there.
Right, big there too. That's a good point. So I'll tell you what, it is going to be a bit of an interesting afternoon for us here. We haven't seen a whole lot of storms pop just yet, guys, but I'm going to keep a watch on things. I do think if we get a chance, they're going to be on the light side. Nothing heavy out there. Notice that it's more of kind of the muckiness out there is what you're really going to notice. That'll be dominating most of our afternoon. Downtown right now, we're still fairly cloudy. Nobody's dealing with any visibility issues, but they will be back again late tonight and tomorrow. Do expect to see more of that dense fog, especially down in Galveston, where it's still looking a little rough. 73 degrees right now. Winds out of the southeast. That's why it's got everybody dealing with a very humid afternoon. Live look at the seawall. Not too bad, but you can't even really tell where the water starts and the sky stops, and that's an indication that we've got fairly overcast conditions. Look at that dew point, almost 70 degrees, about 3 off of the actual air temperature. So later on this evening, when the sun goes down, I'd expect the visibility down on the island to crater fast tonight, so just be ready for that. 78 out in Katy, 78 in Sugar Land, 76 in Dayton. We've got 75 as you get up towards Huntsville. The winds for the most part. Now, what's interesting is we actually have a boundary set up right now. Notice Huntsville, we've got a bit of a northerly wind, south wind. There's sort of that boundary that big area of low pressure Britta was telling you about is going to ride along. So we've got that boundary set up. That's triggering off some scattered showers to the north of us, but it's really where this low is sitting off to the west. And you see, I kind of drew the path of where that's going to move. Water vapor loop really shows it up nicely. And as soon as that gets into Texas, we're going to have to watch exactly how that track tracks, and that will determine where we see some of the strongest showers. Today, not much of an issue. We should be all right this afternoon if you're going to go out voting after work tonight. I don't expect any issues either. By tomorrow morning, here comes that low with the front. That will bring a chance for some showers and thunderstorms. Some of those could be on the strong side. As we get to about 12 o'clock, that starts to slowly push inland. Notice that the temperatures cool behind that quickly, and we stay warm until the front slowly sags southward. By tomorrow afternoon, we should be looking at temperatures that'll dip down into the 50s. So if you're going out to Rodeo earlier into the early part of the afternoon, we've got a chance to see showers. We're going to see some of these back end ones wrap on through as the low itself swings through as we get in towards Wednesday night and Thursday. But the good news is it is going to be a pretty quick mover. Once it slides through, the clouds eventually give way to clear skies, and we've got a much better looking forecast as we head in towards Thursday and into the rest of the weekend. So watch out for a little bit of sloppy roads and certainly some quick rumbles of thunder. Couldn't even rule out an isolated severe thunderstorm or two, but it does look like once that's out of here by Thursday, Friday, Saturday, nice cool starts in the 40s and 50s, and we'll see the afternoon highs getting back up into the mid 70s. As we said, Midland, I believe, is taking the roundabout stage tonight, and of course, don't forget to set your clocks forward. Saturday night.
Yeah, 40s and 50s at night. No 30s, though.
No 30s, though. I think it's going to be real nice. But if you're going out to Rodeo, you're definitely going to need a jacket.
All right, Justin, thanks so much. Stay with us. We're coming right back. Now back to the coronavirus. More and more of the country's top infectious disease doctors are speaking out about the virus. NBC's Richard Engel sat down today with Dr. Anthony Fauci, who has spent much of his career on the front lines of deadly outbreaks.
At Washington's National Institutes of Health, America's top virus control official, Dr. Anthony Fauci, says the coronavirus is spreading and America may need to take drastic actions.
What are we dealing with this coronavirus, COVID-19?
We're dealing with clearly an emerging infectious disease that has now reached outbreak proportions and likely pandemic proportions.
How lethal is it?
So right now, if you look at the people who just come to the attention of the health authorities, that's 2 to 2.5%. But even if it goes down to 1%, that's still very, very serious.
So serious, worldwide, the flu, which we've gotten used to, kills 300 to 650,000 people a year. That's just 0.1% of the people it infects. Coronavirus, even if low estimates are correct, appears to be far more deadly.
So if it went from 2% to 1%, you were still 10 times more lethal than the standard influenza that we get on a seasonal basis.
People are scared. Right. When you ride the subway and somebody coughs right now, you can see the fear on people's face. Are they right? If somebody's coughing on the bus, should you get off?
No, getting off is not going to help.
What about sporting events? What about concerts?
We're not there yet, but if and when we do, and it may be when, because we're seeing a lot of community spread, we need to be at least thinking about the possibility if we get a major outbreak of this coronavirus in this country. That would mean perhaps closing schools temporarily, getting people to do more teleworking, canceling events where there is a lot of crowds in confined places, canceling unnecessary travel so that you're not on an airplane for 5 hours with a bunch of people who might be infected.
That would be a huge step. It would have enormous economic, societal, psychological implications.
It would, but it would be temporary, but it would be necessary.
There are people who are shrugging this off, saying, it's just like the flu.
It's not, because it's brand new. When you have a brand new virus in which no one has had any experience before, that gives the virus kind of an open roadway to spread.
Richard Engel, NBC News, Washington.